Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus, delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region. I'm Maricar Velasco. On today's headlines, the Department of Foreign Affairs has confirmed that an 18-year-old Filipino-American student was among those killed in a mass shooting at a country music bar filled with college students in Los Angeles, California. The Sandigan Bayan's 5th Division has found former First Lady Imelda Marcos guilty of 7 of 10 counts of graft filed in the court for her alleged financial interests and management of several foundations in Switzerland from 1978 to 1984. The group led by Davao-based businessman Dennis A. Uy and state-owned China Telecom Corp. Limited was declared as the provincial third telco player in the Philippines after submitting the only compliant bid on Wednesday's much-awaited selection process for the new major player in the local telco industry. And the Philippine survivors of Super Typhoon Haiyan recalled their terror and loss in memorial gatherings held Thursday for the thousands killed 5 years ago in the country's worst storm on record. The Department of Foreign Affairs has confirmed that an 18-year-old Filipino-American student was among those killed in a mass shooting at a country music bar filled with college students in Los Angeles, California. The DFA has expressed condolences to the family of 18-year-old Alania Punzalan Housley, a freshman English student at Pepperdine University. Alania is the niece of American actress and TV host Tamara Mowry Housley and her husband, journalist Adam Housley. Her grandfather, Ernie Punzalan, said Alania was planning to take taking up law. He said she was just sitting inside the Borderline Bar and Grill when the gunman entered the bar late Wednesday night. At least 12 persons, including Ventura County Sheriff Sergeant Ron Helus, was killed in the tragic incident. Witnesses said the gunman entered the bar and grill and threw several smoke grenades before he started shooting into the crowd that was composed of mainly college students. The Philippine Consulate General in Los Angeles, Consul General Adel Angelito Cruz, was the one who confirmed that Punzalan Housley was among the fatalities in the mass shooting, according to the DFA spokesperson Elmore Tato. The Consulate General continues to monitor developments related to the incident that took place inside a crowded dance bar in Thousand Oaks, California, about 40 minutes west of Los Angeles, Tato said. He said that the Philippine consul was still coordinating with authorities to check if there were other Filipinos or Filipino Americans among the victims. A Lion Air passenger jet has been involved in another accident just a week after a plane from the Indonesian airline crashed with the loss of all 189 people on board. In the latest incident, the jet clipped a pole as it taxied to the runway at Bengkulu Airport on Sumatra Island ahead of its flight to Jakarta. The plane's left wing was visibly damaged, forcing all passengers to disembark. They were flown to the capital later Wednesday evening aboard a different aircraft. Lion Air spokesman Danang Fihantoro said all 143 passengers and 7 crew were safe. The spokesman said Lion Air apologizes to all passengers for any inconvenience. It has sent a team to inspect the aircraft. The Transport Ministry said it would launch an immediate investigation. Pramin Tohadi Sukarno, a senior ministry official, said the plane and the pilot have been grounded for investigation. The accident happened just 10 days after a Lion Air Boeing 737 MAX 8 plane plunged into the Java Sea minutes after takeoff from Jakarta to Pangkal Pinang City. The Sandigan Bayan's 5th Division has found former First Lady Imelda Marcos guilty of 7 out of 10 counts of graft filed in the court for her alleged financial interests and management of several foundations in Switzerland from 1978 to 1984. Marcos, who is also the incumbent Ilocos Norte representative, was sentenced to a prison term of 6 to 11 years for each count, or a total of 42 to 77 years imprisonment. The Sandigan Bayan case, first filed in December 1991 or almost 27 years ago, was in connection with her alleged participation in the management of the Swiss foundations, namely Viber Foundation, Maler Establishment, Trinidad Foundation, Raby Foundation, Palmi Foundation, Aguamina Foundation, and Avertina Foundation. She was also accused by the ombudsman of allegedly funneling the Marcos family's alleged ill-gotten wealth worth almost $30 million in a bank account at the Banque Paribas, despite only declaring a lawful income of $957,487.75 from 1965 to 1985. This was when Mrs. Marcos was still Metro Manila Governor, Minister of Human Settlements, and a member of the Interim Batasan Pambansa. In August 29 last year, the Office of the Ombudsman, in a 28-page memorandum submitted to the Sandigan Bayan 5th Division, said the prosecution had proven beyond reasonable doubt that Marcos is guilty of graft-based documentary exhibits and testimonies of witnesses which were presented during the 26 years that the case was pending. Upon the finality of the conviction, Mrs. Marcos will be perpetually disqualified from holding public office. The Sandigan Bayan is expected to issue arrest warrants after the decision of conviction against Mrs. Marcos. The former First Lady was not present during the reading of the verdict. The cases are bailable and can still be appealed. A consultant of the National Democratic Front of the Philippines who was released in 2016 to represent communist rebels in peace talks with the government was arrested on Thursday, November 8 for illegal possession of firearms. Vicente Ladlad was arrested in Quezon City along with 2 other companions. Police said that a joint operation of the police and the armed forces of the Philippines seized from them high-powered firearms and ammunition, grenades, and several subversive documents. They were searched with a search warrant by authorities past 12 midnight at a subdivision in Barangay San Bartolome in Novaliches, Quezon City. Militant human rights group Karapatan identified the 2 others who were arrested as Alberto and Virginia Villamor. Malacanang spokesperson Salvador Panelo justified the arrest, saying that the rebellion case against Ladlad was a continuing crime and that Ladlad and all other NDFP consultants released from jail were not anymore covered by the Joint Agreement on Safety and Immunity Guarantees, or JASIG, signed by the Philippine government and the NDFP in 1995. Panelo said that the JASIG is only operative if there are ongoing peace talks. He said that since President Rodrigo Duterte has already terminated the peace talks with the NDF, the JASIG is no longer in effect. He adds, second, the crime of rebellion is a continuing crime and therefore no warrant of arrest is needed for that. Panelo says that other NDF consultants can also be arrested because of the failed peace talks between the Philippine government and the communist rebels. A plan to start repatriating Rohingya Muslims back to Myanmar is premature, and the refugees are terrified about leaving Bangladesh, where they sought refuge. This is according to the dozens of aid agencies working in the region. More than 720,000 Rohingya Muslims fled Myanmar's northern Rakhine state to Bangladesh after a heavy-handed army crackdown in August that survivors say involved mass rape and extrajudicial killings. UN investigators say that the country's military leaders should be investigated for genocide, but Myanmar has rebuffed the calls, arguing it was only defending itself against Rohingya militants who attacked police posts. Both Bangladesh and Myanmar signed a repatriation agreement to allow Rohingya to return, but many fear going back without guarantees of citizenship, freedom of movement, and safety. However, the government said in recent weeks that they were pushing ahead with the first large-scale repatriation in mid-November, prompting an outcry from advocates who say conditions on the ground in Rakhine are not adequate. The group of 42 aid agencies and civil society said they fled to Bangladesh to seek safety, and they are very grateful to the government of Bangladesh for giving them a safe haven, referring to the push as dangerous, adding that they are terrified about what will happen to them if they are returned to Myanmar now and distressed by the lack of information they have received. Oxfam, World Vision, and Save the Children were among the groups working in Myanmar and Bangladesh that signed the statement. This week, Bangladesh's Coast Guard rescued 33 Rohingya and detained 6 alleged human traffickers from a fishing trawler headed for Malaysia in the Bay of Bengal.
the EBC Family Fun Run, November 18, 2018, at the Ciudad de Victoria Complex, Bulacan. Choose from race categories: 1.062 kilometer, 2.5 kilometers, 5 kilometers, and 9.55 kilometers. Registration is ongoing. For more details, log on to www.eaglenews.ph/EBC Funrun or call 784-7450, local 1162. You may also visit www.facebook.com/EBC Funrun. EBC Family Fun Run.
This event was made possible with our major sponsors: Regent, Life's Simple Pleasures, RY Graphics and Print, Griamax, the natural 4-in-1 super antioxidant with guayabano, mangosteen, turmeric, and vitamin C. With the participation of Isuzu, your responsible partner for life, together building people. Mr. Gary Escobar, Salonpas by Hisamitsu Philippines, Skechers Performance, White Glow, Australia's #1 teeth whitening system, Beldia, your strategic procurement partner, Blue Pro Energy Plus Electrolytes. Enjoying your passion never stops. And in partnership with Maligaya Development Corporation and Philippine Red Cross.
When visiting the Philippines, Manila or Quezon City is a popular destination. But oftentimes the hustle and bustle of the city can be more stressful on your vacation. So when you feel the need to reconnect to nature or relax again, there's a beautiful oasis just outside of the city called the Garden at Ciudad de Victoria. Some of the species that you can see here include hydrangea, snapdragon, and stargazers. They're truly beautiful. The gardens at Ciudad de Victoria are so peaceful, tranquil, and beautiful that it's become a haven for young couples and a very popular venue for engagement photos. The next time you want an escape from the big city, the garden at Ciudad de Victoria is a wonderful place to visit.
Welcome back. The group led by Davao-based businessman Dennis A. Uy and state-owned China Telecom Corp Limited was declared as the provincial third telco player in the Philippines after submitting the only compliant bid on Wednesday's much-awaited selection process for the new major player in the local telco industry. Based on its bid, it committed to provide 37.03% of the total Philippine population with an average internet speed of 27 Mbps through a 150 billion peso investment for the first year of its operation. A year after, another 13.99% of the Philippines will be covered, this time with internet connection that averages at a speed of 55 Mbps through a 27 billion peso investment. By the third, fourth, and fifth years, Ms. Lotto should have covered another 18.99% 10% and 4% of the population respectively, with the same speed of 55 Mbps and the same level of capital and operating expenses at 27 billion pesos. At the end of its fifth year, it should have covered 84.01% of the Philippine population. The group would have spent a total of 258 billion pesos by the end of its commitment period, offering internet services with an average speed of 55 Mbps. Ms. Laurel garnered a total score of 456.8 points based on the terms of the reference for the third telco selection. The government is basing its decision on naming the official new major player through a so-called beauty contest, wherein contenders will get points for exceeding the minimum for the following categories: speed, coverage, and financial capability. The consortium is composed of Udana Corp, Chelsea Logistics Holding Corp, and China Telecom Corp Limited. The first two Filipino companies are owned and controlled by Uy, known to be a close associate of President Duterte. It used the congressional franchise of Mindanao Islamic Telephone Company Incorporated to qualify to bid. According to Udana spokesman Adel A. Tamano, whose group has a prepared printed press statement, should it be declared the winning bidder, the consortium is thankful for the fair and transparent process. The October inflation rate likely contracted to 6.5% from the 6.7% recorded in September as food prices have started to stabilize. This according to the Department of Finance. Based on the latest DOF economic bulletin on inflation, inflation for all commodities may have slowed to 6.5% in October as the start of the rice harvest season and the recovery of the vegetable sector made food prices stable. The DOF said in a statement, rice harvest season starts. Rice imports by the NFA and the private sector have started to come in, and the vegetable industry has partly recovered from the prior month's severe weather disturbances. Other administrative streamlining measures signed by President Duterte to boost food supply are underway. While the projected inflation rate for October is lower than September's 6.7%, it is still faster than the 3.12% recorded in October 2017. The Philippine economy grew by 6.1% in the third quarter, slower than a quarter ago as well as a year ago. The Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, reported Thursday the gross domestic product, or GDP, growth rate during the July to September period was slower than the adjusted 6.2% in the second quarter. It also fell below the 7.2% year-on-year growth in the third quarter of last year based on the latest PSA time series data. The government targets full-year GDP growth of 6.4 to 6.9% this year. Last month, the Cabinet-level Development Budget Coordination Committee, or DBCC, slashed the year's GDP growth goal from 7 to 8% previously, which economic managers had attributed to a confluence of external developments, including the U.S.-China trade war, higher global oil prices, as well as elevated interest rates.
Join the EBC Family Fun Run, November 18, 2018, at the Ciudad de Victoria Complex, Bulacan. Choose from race categories: 1.062 kilometer, 2.5 kilometers, 5 kilometers, and 9.55 kilometers. Registration is ongoing. For more details, log on to www.eaglenews.ph/EBC Fun Run or call 784-7450, local 1162. You may also visit www.facebook.com/EBC Fun Run. EBC Family Fun Run.
Hi guys, I'm Ariel.
And I'm Kenneth. And we're your new hosts for The Break Room.
So please watch us every Monday at 7:30 to 8 in the evening. We are one with 25.
Welcome back. Philippine survivors of Super Typhoon Haiyan recalled their terror and loss in memorial gatherings held Thursday for the thousands killed 5 years ago in the country's worst storm on record. The catastrophic Super Typhoon Haiyan stole almost everything from Jubilin Luana and Joel Aradana, their spouses, children, and homes. But in each other, they found love and the strength to start a new family.
Kahit anong bagyo pa, kahit ilang bagyo pang lumaan sa amin, hopeful pa rin kami. Kasi patuloy ang buhay. Kahit bagyuhin man tayo, kahit ano pa, hindi naman tumitigil yung buhay natin. Hanggang buhay pa tayo.
DFL Liamado fled for his life when Super Typhoon Haiyan devastated the Philippines in 2013. Yet today, he is back living in the same coastal area, even if it puts him in the crosshairs of a future killer storm. On the 5th anniversary of the Philippines' deadliest typhoon on record, his return is emblematic of the struggles in developing nations to move people out of homes in the most disaster-menaced zones. It is an especially urgent danger as monster storms strike ever more frequently, packing destructive rainfall that experts say is supercharged by climate change.
Natutulog ka nga, yung isip mo, parang sundalo ka nga. Hanggang may operasyon, parang nalibing na yung isang paa mo sa hukay, isa na lang yung naiiwan. Ganon din to. Mahirap.
Haiyan struck in the pre-dawn darkness of November 8, 2013 as the dam's strongest typhoon to ever hit land, leaving more than 7,360 people dead or missing across the central Philippines. The wall of seawater the typhoon sent crashing into densely populated areas known as storm surge is one of the key reasons it was so deadly. Many people simply did not understand the term and did not evacuate despite official warnings. Even some who fled were not spared. Liamado's 2 daughters were killed when the rushing water collapsed an evacuation center. Yet he has returned to live in the same storm surge threatened area where his family lived before Haiyan. Her oldest child was born days after the storm on a debris-strewn floor of Tacloban's destroyed airport building. Baby Bea is about to turn 5 and now has a 1-year-old brother. Yet Ortega said the only way to provide for her children is to leave them with her husband and take a job in Saudi Arabia as a domestic worker, like scores of other poor Filipinas.
Ayoko na makita dun. Naalala ko yung bagyong Yolanda eh. Siyempre parang meron na din akong pag nakarinig ako ng ulan, ganun. Parang may trauma, konti. Parang ayaw ko nang bumalik doon.
And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Maricar Velasco and I am one with 25.